Yo, what is up, my most dopeness? Today it is time to discover one of the best money making guides in Runescape through the one and only Nex. Now Nex is a high level boss, but I'm going to show you that it is easy to do with low level gear, such as my Void with Death Lotus and Nemora's Blade, which is a tier 85 hybrid, which only costs like 1 mil, so it's really cheap. So this is my loadout, and that's my inventory right there. It's pretty much my standard inventory I use for many bosses, which is universal. But depending on your skill, you do want to bring like extra brew or two, or you might use more sharks than brews. And of course you do need that fire buff, which gives you extra HP boost. Without that, next will be that much harder, because during the ice prisons you're just going to get one banged. So the extra HP does help, because my HP always goes down to like 200 or something during ice prisons, which hurts a lot. Now of course when you first start, you do want to go to the first minion and gain adrenaline off of that with the shield. And that's next. I like to range next because I don't know, I just think it's weak to range for some reason, and I just get faster times with it and use less food. So that's a plus for me, and it's going to be a plus for you if you range. If you don't like ranging, I recommend magic, because that's the second best, and the third best is melee, which is really fast, but you do take a lot of damage. That's why I don't recommend melee unless you're very good with melee. Now since this is the first stage, it's going to be very easy. The only thing you have to worry about is getting down to next to 160k HP to move on to the next stage, and watch out for the next stuns. The next stuns is when Nex pulls you over and socks you and takes off your prayer, and it just like hurts you so bad because it stuns you for 8 seconds, which hurts. Now since we're down to 160 HP, I am killing the first minion, which go around clockwise, and you will see later on in the video. Now you do have to watch out for that shadow right there. That shadow is going to hit you for more than 6k HP, which will hurt, and since this is shadow phase, we want to play range. So we're just going to DPS down next, all the way down, all the way down, and which is, you know, it's nothing really special. You just have to watch out for the shadows, just like the first stage. Or it's nothing really special, just like the first stage, but instead you do have to watch out for the shadows. Now we are almost down to 120k HP, and we're at the second minion, and of course watch out for the shadow. Like I always tell everybody that I bring with me to Next that are new, watch out for the shadow, because mostly everyone that I bring always forget about the shadows. Now this phase is going to be blood phase. Blood phase is the hardest phase for everybody, because you need to get Nex down to 80k HP within 12 seconds. Now for this part, I like to use melee because that's the most comfortable for me, but some people like to use onslaught with magic or range, but it's just personal preference. I just prefer melee instead. And of course when you turn red, you do have to surge or escape out of the way, or else Nex is going to heal 10k more HP. Now I'm just going to bring Nex down, and I did not make it, unfortunately. So I'm just going to kill a minion in the meantime and go back to Nex. So basically you just want to get Nex down to 80k HP. So let's see if we get it down during a second try. So now of course escape. I escaped. Now I go back in, and Nex is almost down. Your Nex is down, and also reminds you when it tells you to kill the third minion. Now this is the third minion. After this is going to be ice phase. I think ice phase is the most dangerous part of Nex, because Nex just hits you for so hard, and sometimes can one bang you even with the fire HP boost, because Nex is unpredictable, so you gotta be very careful. Now of course I do like to start off the next phase when Nex turns me red, because I get to skip the first ice prison. So right before the ice prison starts, you do want to anticipate. What this does, it allows you to eat during your ice prisons, because it usually stuns you during that time. Now, after the ice prisons, next is going to spawn some icicles, and the icicles might come after you. So you want to avoid that as much as you can, just like that. Avoid those little ice. And of course, anticipate, because this is when the ice prison is going to begin. And boom, I am in a prison, and I can't get out. You know, some people do like to use barricade or some other skill to negate the damage on ice phase, but I don't really recommend it because it makes your kills that much lower, and you're gonna have to do more ice prisons to make up for that DPS. Now, since we got next down to 40k HP, we're down at the last minion, and you can attack the last minion when you're in the ice prison if you use anticipate or freedom during that time. Now, this is Zaro phase. Zaro phase is when next heals up to 73 or 72k HP, around there, and it has soul split. Now, soul split heals up next, which can be difficult for a lot of people if your DPS is not that very good. And your DPS might not be very good because you might have revolution on, which kills your DPS a lot, somewhere around 50 to 100%, because it's just very slow and the queuing is not that very good. So if you want a DPS and make some money, you do need to learn manual, full manual, not revolution, not some other stuff, manual, because it is superior in many ways. Now, for this phase, nothing is really special. You just DPS next down, but it is kind of annoying because soul split does heal next a lot, which, you know, it just makes the kill that much longer, which is pretty annoying. So in the meantime, we're just gonna DPS next down, and it's almost down, which is pretty nice, but seems like the overload counter is coming down, so we do have to overload twice for this one because my DPS wasn't very good with the tier 85s and tier 80s, but that's just the life of newbie gears. But there's nothing wrong with newbie gears because you can still next, like I'm showing you right now, and I'm just DPSing next all the way down to 10, 70k, 17k, 16k, 15k, 12k, and it's almost down, but soul split just keeps coming back and making everything worse. So now I am at 8k, 6k, keep splashing, and always walk your bleeds because that makes your DPS that much better. Max 6k HP, 4k HP, 3k, 1k, 3k, 5, and boom! There goes my kill, and I got the kill. Just like that with newbie gear. So don't ever listen to anybody, whoever says, you know, you can't do next without the best gear, the tier 92s and tier 90s. It's all skill, guys. That's all you have to do. And next is the best. Now, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe down below, and peace.